Hey friends, hope you all are doing well and taking great care of yourselves. Since last 2 days, lot of notices have been issued, or rather a show cause notices have been issued under section 148 clause B, asking us reasons why they should not reopen our case on the premises that they are having an information which suggests that we have made some donation to particular organization and these donations are bogus donation. They have got the information based on some search and survey conducted by them, based on a statement recorded wherein somebody would have accepted that the donations are bogus donations. So the question that now arises is, what is the way out of this? Before I start with this video, or before I express any views on same, please acknowledge that they all are my personal views. They are not my professional advices. Through this video, I submit my understanding over the law. Before one acts upon them, it is advised that they should, it is strictly or strongly advised and recommended that they should consult their tax professionals, they should consult their chartered accountants, they should consult their tax advocates. Having said this, now coming to the issue. The issue here is that we have been issued a notice under section 148A clause B alleging that the donation is bogus. Now what needs to be done? First of all, let us quickly understand what are the consequences. The consequences is number 1 tax, number 2 interest, and number 3 is the penalty. If we talk about a tax, now if I have made a donation of 1 lakh of rupees, the tax impact is going to be, let us say 30%, assuming that I fall in the 30% bracket. So 30,000 rupees is the tax. Almost equal amount is going to be an interest, because it is a matter of financial year, let's say 1920, and now it is 21 financial year 1819. I'm sorry, it's financial year 1819. So it would start from, let's say the interest bitter would start from 1st of the April 2019, or maybe the advance tax liability would have an impact and it may start even prior to that. So end of the day, the 1920, 2021, 22, 23, and ultimately 23, 24. So 22, 23, let us put it this way, at least today, 22, 23. So 21, 2, and 3. So technically speaking, for 4 years interest, so I assume that it is going to be the equivalent amount. Let us put it this way: 30,000 rupees tax, 30,000 rupees interest, 60,000 rupees, and there may be a penalty under section 270A clause 9, which may be 200%. So which would be again 60,000 rupees. So end of the day, my risk is 1,20,000 to 1,25,000 rupees. Somebody may come and argue, or some officer may take a view that they may not levy tax under by taking a slab rate to which it is applicable. They may levy tax under 115BB, which provides a flat rate of 78%. 60% tax, 25% surcharge on top of it, so 75%, 4%. Education says turned out to be 78%. In that particular case, my tax is 78%. So 1 lakh donation, tax is 78,000 rupees. In that case, penalty is going to be 10% only. Let us put it 10 more percent. So 88%. I'm not going into 84%, 88%. Let us put it 88%. And there will be interest, which would be an equivalent amount of tax. So roughly speaking, 80,000 tax, 80,000 interest, and roughly around 10,000 rupees is going to be my penalty. So it all put together, it is 170 to 175,000, 1,70,000 to 1,75,000. Meaning thereby, if I have made a donation of 1 lakh of rupees, which is found to be bogus end of the day, the risk involved on a lower side is 1,25,000 rupees. On a higher side, the risk involved is 1,75,000 rupees. So 125% to 175% is 125% to 175% is the approximate cost involved per year. तो अगर आपने 19-20 में फाइनेंशियल ईयर 18-19 में डोनेशन करा हुआ है, 18-19 का केस आपका रीओपन हुआ है, अब उसी पार्टी को, क्योंकि आपने 19-20 में भी करा, 20-21 में भी करा, 21-22, तो हर साल ये रीओपन होने वाला है जब तक आपने अपडेटेड रिटर्न फाइल नहीं करा। और अपडेटेड रिटर्न में से मान लेते हैं वो आपने डोनेशन का क्लेम हटा दिया और एक्स्ट्रा अमाउंट ऑफ टैक्स भर दिया, तो बात खत्म, तो फिर आप बच गए। लेकिन बाकी के सालों के लिए जो भी है, जिनका अपडेटेड रिटर्न फाइल नहीं हो सकता अभी, फॉर एग्जांपल 31 मार्च 23 अगर खत्म हो जाएगा, देन वी आर नॉट इन अ पोजीशन टू फाइल द अपडेटेड रिटर्न फॉर द लास्ट 2 years. In that particular case, then 18-19, 19-20, those years are going to be reopened, and accordingly you have to figure out that what is going to be the cost involved per year. Now, one is, why do I discuss this first? Precisely because one can take a call whether they want to litigate the matter or they want to go and surrender. I am not at all right now discussing whether your donation are genuine or bogus, because that is one person knows, the gentleman knows कि उसने जो donation करा है खुद से सही है गलत है. Let the gentleman to understand that point. I am not here on that particular premises. I am here that do we want to litigate or not? If we are litigating, what are the chances involved, or if we are losing, what are the costs involved? So as I discussed, the maximum cost which is involved is 125% to 175%. What I would advise, if you want to litigate, if you want to surrender, go and surrender. That's not a problem. That is a wonderful situation. You go and surrender if that's comfortable. If somebody wants to litigate, to my mind, in that particular case, one should go and pay taxes along with interest first, so that the tax and interest meter, the interest meter would stop. If they are winning the matter finally, in that case, the amount which they have deposited along with the tax and interest which they have deposited, that is going to come back. That is going to come back end of the day along with the interest. So if you are winning, it is an FD which you are putting with the income tax department, which is going to come back. If you are losing, in that case, tax and interest you already paid, so tax and interest meter would stop. Now only the battle would be with respect to the penal consequences only. Having discussed this, now let us say that somebody takes a view that I want to litigate the matter. If you want to litigate a matter, then obviously the first question that would come, will I have a last laugh? Then let me answer this question based on my limited understanding of the law, that this is not the first time that the department has issued notices alleging the donation to a particular organization to be bogus. I cannot say that whether you would be having a last laugh or not as on today, but as on today, I could gather certain judgments of Honorable Income Tax Appellate Tribunal, wherein for some of the organization where such allegations were leveled that you have made a donation, the donation found to be bogus, and the ITAT has taken a view that this donations cannot be treated as a bogus donation. So I would discuss those judgments. If your case falls into that particular judgment, certainly you may have a chance, assuming that the High Court do not overrule that judgment or law does not get amended. So subject to that disclaimer, yes, if your case falls into that particular category of the cases which I am going to discuss, certainly you would have a chance, in my opinion, subject to the disclaimers I have already given. Now, what are those judgments? So let me take you to those judgments quickly. I assume that my screen is now visible to you. The first issue that comes up is that I was issued a notice alleging that I have made a donation to a particular organization. And thereafter it was found that I had never made a donation to that particular organization, so it was absolutely a bogus situation. In that particular case, reopening cannot be done. We have direct judgment of Honorable Bombay High Court in the case of Bhanumati Maharaj 2019 102 taxman.com 332, wherein it has been held that where assessing officer initiated reassessment proceedings on the basis of information received from investigation being that assessee made donation to a bogus trust under section 35, which came back to the assessee in lieu of commission, in view of the fact that in assessee's return there was no claim of donation made to such trust. Information supplied to the assessing officer by investigation wing was wrong information, and thus impugned reassessment proceedings deserves to be quashed. तो ये पहला जजमेंट था जो हमने देखा बॉम्बे हाई कोर्ट का था. अच्छा, कई बार ये भी होता है कि मैंने डोनेशन दिया, I gave the donation, and let's say I have given the donation, and thereafter I have given a donation for financial year 18-19, and then the approval got cancelled from 22-23 with a retrospective effect. 18 उन्होंने बोला कि हम 15-16 से अप्रूवल कैंसिल कर रहे हैं भले आप, और 22-23 में कर रहे हैं। डोनेशन आपने दिया था 18-19 में, तो सर जिस दिन मैंने डोनेशन दिया था उस दिन तो आपका अप्रूवल वैलिड था। सिंस ऑन द डेट ऑफ द डोनेशन द अप्रूवल वाज वैलिड, वंस अगेन नो disallowance can be called for simply on the ground that the subsequently the approval was cancelled with a retrospective effect, and to that effect I have got a judgment available. One is the direct judgment in the case of Honorable Supreme Court 126 Taxman 399, which says that a retrospective withdrawal of an approval granted by a prescribed authority would not lead to invalidation of assessor's claim of deduction. मतलब अगर एलिगेशन ये है कि भाई साहब जब आपने डोनेशन दिया तब तो अप्रूवल वैलिड था, अब जब जाके आप डोनेशन दे चुके हैं तब तो उसके बाद हमने रेट्रोस्पेक्टिवली कैंसिल किया, तो इन दैट केस सुप्रीम कोर्ट कम्स टू माय रेस्क्यू, नथिंग टू बोदर अबाउट. Bombay High Court has also taken a view. Here we can see the Bombay High Court has also taken a view wherein the similar decision has been taken. Now, yeah, here is the okay. Now the another issue that comes up here is मैंने ट्रस्ट को डोनेशन दिया, अब उसके बाद मान लो ट्रस्ट ने वो पैसों का कुछ मिसयूज करा, ट्रस्ट ने वो पर्टिकुलर पैसे किसी और को दे दिया और उन्होंने जो पर्पस के लिए पैसे दिए तो उस पर्पस के लिए यूज नहीं करे, मैंने पॉलिटिकल पार्टी को दिए, पॉलिटिकल पार्टी ने कुछ गलत करा, मैंने किसी इंस्टीट्यूशन को दिए, इंस्टीट्यूशन ने फंड्स का साइफनिंग किया, तो क्या उससे मुझे कोई फर्क पड़ेगा? द आंसर इज नो, बिकॉज द लॉ डज नॉट impose any obligation on me to check whether the funds have been used for the objects of the trust or not, or for the objects for which I have given a donation or not. We have direct judgment of Honorable Ahmedabad ITAT in the case of Army Infotech 2022-136 taxman.com 128. Funds given by the assessee as donation to political parties and charitable institutions under section 80 GGC could not have been disallowed, treating the same as bogus on the ground that donee failed to use it for object which has been made eligible to receive the donation, as act nowhere puts obligation upon the donor to ensure how funds are utilized by donee towards their objects. तो ये जजमेंट किसी के काम आ सकता है. So I'm just sharing this judgment for the benefits. Now coming to the situation that they are not saying that the trust has used the particular money or the political party has used the money for different purposes. They are saying that it is an accommodation entry, it's a bogus donation, it is absolutely it is an accommodation entry, the money has come back to you, you are never given a donation and that's why we are coming. अब इसके ऊपर मेरे पास कुछ जजमेंट्स हैं जो I would give. They are none of them are relating to a political party, of course. So I give the judgments. Jain Jewelers Private Limited, ITA number 86 AHD 2018, dated 26th November 2019. It's an Ahmedabad ITAT, and the organization here was Herbicure Healthcare Bio Herbal Research Foundation, Calcutta. कलकत्ता ने सर्च करा, सर्च के बेस पर पता चला donations are bogus. They said that no, we are not treating the donation to be bogus. Why? Because just there was a statement, there is no other evidences, and cross-examination opportunity has not been given to us. Another judgment we have is a Bhavin Shah, Ahmedabad ITAT. The organization here was School of Human Genetics and Population Health. This judgment is dated 30th April 2021. They all are unreported judgments. Another judgment we have is the judgment of Jayesh Prabhudas Shah, ITA 1150 HD 2018, dated 20th Feb 2020, Ahmedabad ITAT. It's a Matriwana Institute of Experimental Research and Education. वहां पर भी यही व्यू लिया गया. And we have one more judgment in the case of PM Birmani or Orgiochem Private Limited. The date of judgment is 10 दिसंबर 2021. यहां पर था नवजीवन चैरिटेबल ट्रस्ट. तो इन सारे केस में एलिगेशन बोगस डोनेशन का था, और ये बोगस डोनेशन के सारे मैटर के अंदर ये व्यू लिया गया कि क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन अपॉर्चुनिटी अगर नहीं दिया गया तो केवल किसी के स्टेटमेंट के बेस के ऊपर ये व्यू नहीं लिया, ये डिसाइड नहीं करा जा सकता दैट द डोनेशन इज बोगस. मीनिंग देयरबाय व्हाट शुड आई डू नाउ? सिंस आई मेंशन दैट there are judgments available where a view has been taken by the Honorable ITAT that the donation cannot be treated as bogus. If our facts are similar to these judgments, probably we have some chances of survival. If we are winning, as I mentioned, because in those cases the allegation was labeled was with respect to a bogus donation. Since we are winning, whatever tax that we have deposited today along with interest, that would come back with interest to us. So we'll be going to get tax and interest back. Both the things would come back. Of course, the penalty is going to be dropped, because there is no penal provisions will not be applicable, because on our quantum proceedings we have won. Right now, assuming that here I lose the matter, maybe on account of the reasons beyond my control or maybe some other reasons, then penal prosecution may follow. One has to go on to each of the facts, and then it would be decided whether the penalty would be applicable or not. Finally, for a penalty, what needs to be established is the money has come back to me. If it is not established that the money has come back to me, then to my mind, penalty cannot be levied. But once again, this is absolutely my view. One has to take their own call whether he wants to litigate on a particular matter or not. So my aim behind this particular video was just to bring to the notice of all concerned that, number one, the cost involved here is tax, interest and penalty, which may range from 125% to 175% of the amount of the donation per year. So if you are doing it from 18, 19, 19, 20, 20, 21, let's take an example. You have done it for the 3 years, 22, 23, then 4 years. Though it has to be multiplied by 4 because it would follow in now each year, unless otherwise you are filing an updated return wherein you are removing that particular claim and you are paying that particular amount of tax. If you are doing it, probably some chances would be there. बट अदरवाइज देयर वुड बी अ रीओपनिंग होगा और ये लगेगा। नंबर वन। नंबर दो, अगर आप लिटिगेट कर रहे हैं तो आपको बिल्कुल ध्यान रखना है 148A का जब नोटिस आता है, प्लीज मेक श्योर दैट 148A का नोटिस आपको असेसिंग ऑफिसर देगा। मेक श्योर दैट द नोटिस इज बीइंग इशूड बाय द असेसिंग ऑफिसर ओनली. So if you wish, you can take a ground of jurisdiction that the gentleman who is issuing a notice does not have a jurisdiction. Second, you can ask that what is the information that you are having in your possession, based on which what inquiries have you made and what approval have you taken. Please note that the notices would have come in last 2 days. The AO might have received information probably 3 days before that. So within that particular 3 to 5 days only, you would have to comply with the entire process of section 148A, wherein he should be in receipt of information. He should have concluded that whether he wants to conduct an inquiry or not, or he should have conducted some inquiry. Then he should have taken approval from the higher authorities. Where is the approval memo? The approval memo should come. We can demand them, so we can challenge this reopening on those technical grounds as well. We should and we must demand the opportunity to cross-examine. We must demand the opportunity to cross-examine a statement or verify a statement, or based on which the allegation is labeled that the donations which are alleged, which are to be bogus. Then on what statement that you are saying, we need to have the copy of the statement. We should demand that invariably in this proceeding itself, 148A proceeding itself. Number two, during assessment proceedings as well, we should demand that particular. We should also demand the cross-examination opportunity. If we have demanded cross-examination opportunity and if it is not being provided to us, we have direct judgment of Honorable Supreme Court Andaman Timbers, where a view has been taken that if the opportunity of cross-examination has not been given, in that particular case, the principle of natural justice gets violated, and obviously on account of that, the matter may be decided finally in our favor. So we have to ensure that if we are litigating, we need to have a technical ground. If on a technical ground of 148A, where we are challenging reopening, then only if our case is established, then there is no point to go on a merits. On a technical ground only, we are winning the matter. If we don't have any technical ground available, then we can definitely go on a merits, where we need to have, number A, the approval of that political party or the organization, which was valid for that particular year, or at least which was valid on the day on which I have made a donation. Bank statement evidencing the payment of donation. 3, the donation receipt which I have given, right? So, and fourth, ये डोनेशन का पैसा मैं कहां से कमाया? मेरा सैलरी इनकम था जहां से मेरा डोनेशन का पैसा आया. ये सैलरी इनकम से मैं डोनेशन का पैसा कमाया. मेरा बिजनेस इनकम था जहां से मेरा डोनेशन का पैसा आया. सो द सोर्स ऑफ द इनकम विच इज बीइंग यूज्ड फॉर डोनेटिंग दैट गेट्स एस्टैब्लिश्ड. ये चारों चीजें मेरे पास होना जरूरी है. एंड प्लीज नोट दैट आप सोचेंगे कि मेरा ये केस डोनेशन का है, डोनेशन का मैं टैक्स इंटरेस्ट भर दूंगा, ये ड्रॉप हो जाएगा. I think they should drop if you are paying interest and tax right now, saying that I don't want to litigate. Let's take an example. Somebody takes a view that I don't want to litigate, I want to pay tax and interest right now. So in response to the notice, the person says that I don't want to take this, I do not want to do not want to litigate the matter, I want to put the controversies to the rest. So without going into the genuineness issue of the genuineness of the donation, the amount of donation and the amount of tax and interest I am paying right now in response to the notice, then logically there is no income escaping assessment, because the whatever was the purpose behind this proceedings was to recover the tax and interest that gets established. So the matter may be dropped, and if the matter gets dropped here itself, in that particular case, probably the panel proceedings may not even be initiated. So the things may come to an end simply at a cost of 78%, which is the tax and interest basically. Or let's say you pay 30% of the tax and 30% of the tax and equivalent amount of interest. So even at a cost of 60%, the matter may be settled and you may not have to go for a penalty. So if that happens, best. But assume a situation, if that doesn't happen and matter gets reopened, then it is not reopened only for donation. It is entirely now reopened. So even if no addition is being made for a donation, if there are other irregularities are found, for example, the capital gain was not correctly calculated, for example, the business income had certain issues, all these things would come up and all these additions and disallowance would be made. And even if at a later stage donations के ग्राउंड पे आप जीत भी जाते हो, तो पहले जेट एयरवेज का जजमेंट था, मोहम्मद जुनेद ददानी का जजमेंट था, रेनबैक्सी का जजमेंट था, जहां पर यह था कि जिस इश्यू के कारण केस खुला था, अगर उसी इश्यू पर कोई एडिशन नहीं है तो बाकी के इश्यू सर्वाइव नहीं कर सकते और उस पर एडिशन नहीं करा जा सकता. अब जो नया रिजिम है जिसके अंदर ये आपको नोटिस आ रहा है, प्लीज नोट दैट वो नए रिजिम के अंतर्गत इस चीज को हटा दिया गया है. यानी भले डोनेशन के ऊपर कोई चीज एडिशन ना हो, फिर भी अदर मैटर्स पर एडिशन हो सकता है. तो अगर ये आप ही को पता है कि आपके केस में कोई और इरेगुलरिटीज हैं या नहीं है, तो ये सोचकर, समझकर, संभल कर आपको आपके निर्णय लेने हैं. मैं दोबारा बता रहा हूं, मैंने केवल लॉ का अपना अंडरस्टैंडिंग शेयर करा हुआ है. मुझे नहीं पता आपके डोनेशन जेन्युइन है या बोगस है. मैंने केवल अपना लॉ का अंडरस्टैंडिंग शेयर करा हुआ है, विच आई फाउंड टू बी ट्रू, और ये मेरा पर्सनल एडवाइस है, कोई प्रोफेशनल एडवाइस नहीं है. दे ऑल आर माई पर्सनल व्यूज, दे आर नॉट प्रोफेशनल एडवाइस. This video is not for a marketing purposes. This video is just to answer all the queries which I am receiving on calls from all those persons who have been issued the notices, to put my view on this particular case. और क्या ऐसे कोई जुडिशियल प्रोनाउंसमेंट है जहां पर हमें इन पास्ट बेनिफिट हुआ है, तो वो सारी चीजें मैंने इस वीडियो में शेयर करने का प्रयत्न करा हुआ है. सो प्लीज टेक वेल इन्फॉर्म्ड कॉल after consulting your tax advocates, tax professionals, or chartered accountants or tax lawyers. I wish you all the best. Take great care of yourself. Thank you very much.